Take a moment and slow everything down while reading this. Not because anything dramatic is about to happen, but because sometimes life speaks in quieter ways that are easy to miss when the mind is busy. There are moments when a message seems to find you at the exact right time, not by mystery, but by timing shaped through your own thoughts, questions, and emotions. If you feel a slight pause inside, or a sense of attention pulling you in, it simply reflects that something in you is ready to reflect more deeply. You have likely been carrying questions for some time, looking for clarity, direction, or even reassurance about situations that feel uncertain or unfinished. Those inner requests often build quietly until you finally give yourself space to acknowledge them. What you are experiencing now is that pause, a reminder to listen more closely to your own thoughts and instincts rather than rushing past them. Sometimes, understanding doesn't arrive as a sudden event, but as a gradual awareness that something in your life needs attention, honesty, or change. If there has been confusion or emotional weight around people or decisions, this is a moment to observe rather than react. Let your thoughts settle instead of letting them spiral. What feels important right now is not outside signs, but your ability to notice what you already sense beneath the surface. Give yourself permission to question, to reflect, and to trust your own perception a little more. In doing so, you may realize that clarity was not missing. It was simply waiting for you to slow down enough to see it. My sword is drawn. The light of God is standing at your door. Your house is being surrounded by angelic presence, not for fear, but for protection. My beloved, you have been watched by eyes that do not belong in your life. Someone has spoken your name in a room where you were not present. Someone has tried to pull your spirit down. Someone has been secretly hoping that you fail, that you get tired, that you break, that you doubt yourself. But heaven said no more. Tonight the truth will begin to uncover itself. The masks will fall. The shadows will tremble. There will be no more hiding. You may notice a phone call that feels different, a message that suddenly exposes intentions, a person whose tone changes, a silence that speaks louder than words. My child, listen. Do not fight the revelation. Do not fear what comes to light. What is being removed is only what was holding you back. Your spirit has outgrown certain energies, certain attachments, certain people, certain illusions. Heaven is not taking anything away from you. Heaven is returning you to yourself. But the moment this happens, your environment changes, your home shifts, your inner world expands. This is why I asked you to open this message, because if you do not understand what is happening, you may mistake divine protection for loss. You may call blessing a tragedy. You may see a miracle and think it is chaos. My beloved, trust me. This is God rearranging your destiny. Tonight. Now listen closely. Something will happen around you, and when it does, do not react with emotion. Do not confront anyone. Do not argue. Do not explain yourself. Just observe. Stay still. Stay calm. Stay centered, because the truth will reveal itself without your effort. My child, I will tell you the rest, but you must respond to this message with your presence. Say, I am ready. Archangel Michael, type it. Speak it softly. Whisper it in your heart. My child, my beloved, since your heart has agreed, I will continue. Listen closely now, because from this moment the message becomes deeper, sharper, more direct, and more revealing. Your soul called for truth, and heaven has answered. My beloved, for a long time you have been walking with faith, even when your steps were trembling. You have been carrying yourself with strength. Even when your heart was tired, you have been giving love. Even when others gave you silence, confusion, or wounds, and heaven has witnessed every moment of it. There are things you did not speak aloud, but your soul cried them. There are moments where you smiled, while your spirit quietly broke. There were days you acted strong, while your heart whispered, "I just want someone to understand me." And I, Archangel Michael, heard every one of those whispers. My child, your kindness has been taken for granted. Your love has been underestimated. Your loyalty has been misread as weakness. But heaven does not misread you. God has counted every tear, not to remind you of pain, but to measure the size of your blessing. Because blessings are never given to the ones who have had it easy. Blessings come to those who have survived themselves. Now hear me. Tonight, the spiritual world moves. There is a veil between what is seen and unseen, and that veil becomes thin tonight. You may feel a shift in your chest, a sudden quiet in your mind, a vibration in your hands, or a strong sensation that something is standing near you. Do not fear. Do not pull away. Do not ignore it. That is me. That is the angelic presence. That is the revelation beginning. My beloved, someone has been pretending with you. Someone has carried a sweet voice, a gentle face, but a hidden intention. You have felt it. You have sensed the inconsistency. You have questioned your own intuition because you love deeply and you do not like to think badly of others. But tonight, their true intention begins to show itself, not through drama, not through confrontation, not through chaos, but through energy. Their eyes will change, their tone will slip, their behavior will show a shadow you never saw before. And in that moment, you will know, this was the person heaven was warning you about, my child. Do not ask why me. Instead, say thank you God for revealing the hidden, because what is being removed from your path was never part of your destiny. You are stepping into a new season, a season where your heart is not used, where your love is not wasted, where your mind is not heavy, where your spirit is not drained. A season where your presence is honored, your voice is valued, your tears are seen, your path is being guarded, and a new chapter is preparing to unfold. But before it fully arrives, what no longer belongs must quietly fade away. What unfolds tonight is a moment of clarity and release, calling for calm awareness rather than reaction or impulse. In this space, restraint becomes strength, observation becomes insight, and inner stillness becomes the real advantage. You do not need to respond to every hidden truth that surfaces, because time itself reveals what intention conceals. Life is guiding you beyond past limitations, shaping your emotions, your energy, and your direction into something stronger than before. A shift in your circumstances is forming, bringing opportunities that are meaningful, steady, and aligned with your growth. However, anything unstable or untrue cannot remain where real alignment is taking place, so clarity is being revealed. Take a quiet moment to affirm readiness for truth, and allow yourself to stay open to understanding what follows. You have already shown courage by seeking understanding, and what comes next is meant to bring perspective, not confusion. Many of your questions about distance, change, and emotional imbalance are now finding answers through experience, rather than uncertainty. These experiences are not signs of failure but part of a deeper unfolding that is gradually reshaping what you understand about love and connection. With time, what felt heavy will begin to make sense, and what felt uncertain will find its place in a clearer understanding of your journey. Trust that what is leaving your life is creating space for something more stable, more honest, and more aligned with who you are becoming, even if you cannot see it yet in this present moment fully unfold soon. They were signs that your heart was awakening. You were not meant to stay small. You were not meant to stay surrounded by those who only understood a fraction of who you are. You were not meant to remain in spaces where your value had to be explained. You are evolving. Your soul has been growing faster than the people around you, and this growth created a gap where you started to see truth clearer than ever, a gap where your intuition began to speak louder, a gap where your spirit began to sense what your mind could not yet understand. This is why the revelation is happening tonight, Because, my beloved, if this truth is not revealed now, you will continue to carry weight that does not belong to you. You will continue to hold hands that do not lead you forward. You will continue to pour light into a heart that was never ready to receive it, and heaven refuses to let you waste any more of your life. My child, you have asked for healing, but healing does not always feel gentle. Sometimes healing feels like breaking. Before it feels like freedom. Sometimes healing looks like someone leaving. Sometimes healing looks like silence. Sometimes healing looks like a chapter closing suddenly. But every ending God allows is an ending that leads to protection. Hear me. Tonight is not about loss. Tonight is about release. Something that was draining you emotionally or spiritually is being lifted away. You are not losing anything important. You are being removed from what was lowering your vibration, your peace, your growth, your destiny. My beloved, after tonight, your energy will change. You will feel lighter. You will breathe easier. You will sleep differently. You will wake up with clarity instead of confusion. This is because your spirit will no longer be carrying someone else's weight. You were carrying emotions that were not yours. You were feeling pain that someone else caused inside themselves. You were healing others at the cost of wounding yourself. Heaven says no more. Now your energy rises. Now your spirit strengthens. Now your power returns to you. You will notice the shift. You will begin to speak less but be understood more. You will begin to care less for approval and more for peace. You will stop chasing connections, and connections will start chasing you. Your silence will have presence. Your presence will have impact. Your impact will have purpose. My child, you are entering a season where your name will carry power even in rooms you are not in. People will speak of you with awe. People will remember what you brought into their lives. People will feel your absence louder than your presence once felt because your spirit is rare, and rarity is never recognized immediately. It is recognized after it is gone. But you, my beloved, are not meant to go back. Not this time. Not again. Now, I will tell you something sacred after tonight. A blessing is coming toward you. Not by accident, not by luck, not by coincidence, by divine alignment. This blessing has been waiting for the right moment, the right spiritual vibration, the right strength within you, and now you are ready. This blessing will touch your home, your heart, your finances, your peace, your future. But blessings cannot enter where illusions live. That is why the illusion must be cleared tonight. Now listen carefully. When the blessing comes, do not question whether you deserve it. Do not shrink yourself. Do not say, maybe this is too good for me. No, my child, you have earned this through pain, through patience, through endurance, through faith, through silent battles. No one knew you were fighting. Heaven saw everything, and heaven is rewarding everything. But before I describe the blessing in detail, before I reveal how your life will shift in the next 7 days, I need you to anchor your spirit into readiness. Say softly, or type, I am ready for my blessing. I release what is not mine. I trust what is coming. My child, my beloved, I will continue because your spirit is listening now, not just your mind. There is something important I must tell you. Your life is entering a 7-day transformation beginning after tonight's revelation. These 7 days will not be ordinary. They will not feel like the days you have lived before. They will feel different in your hands, as if the same moments are now carrying a new depth you couldn't sense before. Even your surroundings will seem to respond in a quieter, more intentional way. Like life itself is adjusting its tone around you. People may begin to notice something unspoken in you, a subtle change in presence that doesn't need explanation. It's not about becoming someone else, but about shedding what was never truly yours. When clarity finally breaks through, what once felt heavy begins to lose its grip, and your inner world starts to loosen from what was silently draining you. As that release happens, a natural elevation follows, not forced, not rushed, just steady. The first shift is rest. Sleep begins to feel more restorative, as though your mind is finally exhaling after holding tension for too long. Even without extra hours, you wake with a lighter frame inside yourself, as if something invisible has been set down. Then comes awareness. Situations and people reveal themselves more clearly, not through confrontation but through simple observation, where words, pauses, and reactions expose truths that were previously hidden. In the days that follow, your sense of identity starts returning, not as something new but as something remembered, a version of you that existed before exhaustion and emotional noise took over. A surprising moment may arrive, something small yet meaningful enough to shift your direction or attention, like a quiet reminder that movement is happening even when it isn't obvious. With that, a calmer state settles in. Not avoidance, but alignment, where life feels less scattered and more coherent. Emotional weight begins to soften, allowing space for understanding instead of resistance. Gradually, what once felt tangled starts to loosen, and inner conflict gives way to acceptance. By the end of this unfolding, something tangible in your reality begins to change, reflecting the internal shift that has already taken place, as if the outside world is finally catching up to the transformation within. Something obvious, something undeniable, something that marks the beginning of a new chapter. My beloved, this blessing will not feel uncertain. It will not feel confusing. It will not make you question yourself. It will feel like, yes, this was mine the entire time. My child, you were never forgotten. You were simply being prepared. Prepared to receive what you are no longer afraid to lose. Prepared to stand in your value without shrinking. Prepared to love without begging for love in return. Prepared to speak without apologizing for your voice. Prepared to exist without needing permission. But now, I must tell you something deeper. Someone's soul has been thinking of you intensely, not a stranger. Not someone new, someone whose connection with you goes beyond this lifetime. This person has been unable to detach from your memory because your spirits recognized each other before your minds did. But their presence in your life was never meant to be casual. They are tied to your purpose. However, they could not step forward while old energy was still attached to you. This is another reason why the revelation must happen tonight. When that false connection falls away, the path becomes open for the person who is truly meant for your spirit, not someone who drains you, not someone who confuses you, not someone who makes you question your worth, but someone whose presence feels like home. You will recognize them not by their words, but by how your soul relaxes in their presence. This is what is being aligned now. But before I describe this person, before I reveal how your hearts connect, I need you to hold your spirit steady. Say softly or type, I am ready to be aligned. I am ready to be protected. I am ready to receive. My child, my beloved, you have spoken with readiness. So the message will now go deeper. I am going to reveal who this person is, the one whose life is connected to yours in a way that time cannot erase. Listen carefully. This is not someone who came to your life by accident. This is not someone who appeared just to pass time or to create memories and disappear. This soul has been tied to yours long before this lifetime. Your spirits have crossed paths before. That is why the connection felt different. That is why the conversation felt familiar. That is why the silence between you felt full instead of empty. That is why your heart recognized them even when your mind tried to question everything. My beloved, this person has tried to move on. They have tried to forget. They have tried to distract themselves with people, work, noise, and routine. But no matter what they do, your presence returns to them like a quiet echo in the back of their spirit. They feel you when they wake. They feel you when they are alone. They feel you when the world becomes quiet. It is not because they are weak. It is because your souls are aligned. But listen closely. They could not come toward you properly before because there was interference in your energy. Someone around you was blocking your heart, clouding your intuition, pulling your spirit down, making your love feel heavy instead of sacred. This is why heaven is removing that interference tonight, not through war, not through anger, but through revelation. Once the truth becomes clear, your spirit will detach without effort. No struggle, no confusion, no emotional chaos, just realization. And after that moment, your heart becomes open again. But this time, not open to everyone, only open to the one it already belongs to. My beloved, this person I speak of is someone who sees you as a mirror, not a mirror of appearance, but a mirror of soul. They are drawn to your inner world, your silence, your resilience, your secrets, your scars, your softness. They feel safe in your presence even when they have not told you why. But they have also been afraid of losing you, afraid of not being enough, afraid of not knowing how to handle something real, afraid of the intensity of their own emotions. So they pulled back, or they stayed distant, or they left without closure, or they watched you quietly from afar. Not because they did not care, but because they cared too much. There is a quiet message in the way this connection lingers, as if something beyond sight has been gently guiding both hearts toward the same direction. Even without spoken words, there has been an unspoken awareness, a pull that cannot easily be explained. What you are experiencing now feels like a period of realignment, where life is subtly clearing confusion so that clarity can take its place. When this person re-enters your life, it will not feel scattered or uncertain. It will feel steady, calm, and natural, as though time itself has corrected what was once unfinished. You will not feel the need to chase answers or decode intentions, because honesty will be present without effort. The energy surrounding this reunion will feel lighter, almost like exhaling after holding your breath for too long. There will be a sense of recognition that doesn't demand proof, only acceptance. No confusion, no emotional guessing, just a quiet understanding that something has found its way back into balance. This connection is not arriving in moments of chaos or emotional noise, but rather after inner stillness has been restored. That is often how meaningful bonds return, when both hearts have settled into a clearer state of being. Before anything unfolds further, allow yourself to remain open yet grounded, trusting that timing has its own intelligence. A simple openness to what is aligned can shift everything gently into place. What follows is not about urgency, but about readiness. And in that readiness, what is meant for you begins to feel less like a question, and more like a natural return to peace. And that stillness begins after tonight. Because once the truth is revealed, once the false attachment is removed, once your energy returns to itself, your spirit sends out a signal, a call, a vibration, a pull, and the one whose soul is tied to yours will feel it instantly. Even if you say nothing, even if you post nothing, even if you reach out to no one, this person will feel you in their chest, like a memory that suddenly becomes alive again, like a voice they didn't know they were still listening for, like a presence that has been standing with them all along. They may not understand it at first. They may describe it as an ache, a longing, a sudden sadness, or a sudden warmth. But it is recognition. Their soul is remembering yours. And when this recognition becomes strong enough, they will take a step, not a hesitant one, not a weak one, not a confused one, a real one, a step toward you. It may look like a message, a call, a voice note, a conversation that starts slowly but carries depth, an apology spoken in quiet sincerity, a confession they were too afraid to say before. They will not come to play with your heart. They will not come to test you. They will not come to take from you. They will come to give. Not gifts, not promises, but presence. Their presence, their truth, their effort. The reunion begins softly, not like a storm, not like a sudden burst of emotion, but like a sunrise, gradual, warm, natural, undeniable. You will not need to force anything. You will not need to chase. You will not need to overthink, because destiny does not require effort. It requires recognition, and both of you will recognize. Now, my beloved, I will tell you the sign that the reunion is beginning. You will start to see their name, their initials, their birth month, or something uniquely tied to them appear repeatedly in your reality, not once, not twice, but consistently on screens, in conversations, in dreams, in passing moments that feel too precise to be random. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. Your soul is telling you it is time now. My child, when you see this sign, you do not need to rush. You do not need to control anything. Just open your heart quietly and say, I am ready. Because the reunion will unfold on its own. The universe has already arranged the timing. Heaven has already prepared the moment. The path is already clear. And when the moment comes, you will not feel fear. You will feel home. But my beloved, there is something more I must reveal. Your connection with this person is not only emotional, it is purposeful. The two of you together carry a light that the world needs. You are meant to lift each other, heal each other, and build something that does not fade. This is not a love of temporary attachment. This is a love of destiny. But before I describe what you build together, before I show you the power of your shared future, your spirit must affirm readiness once more. Say softly or write, I am ready to receive what my soul has been waiting for. I am ready for the life that belongs to me. My child, my beloved, you have spoken with readiness. So I will continue. Now the message shifts into what happens to your life. Once the revelation unfolds and the reunion begins, listen slowly. Let the words enter you, because what comes next is not just comfort, it is transformation. My beloved, when the energy that has been draining you leaves your life tonight, a space opens within you. Not an empty space, but a sacred space. This space is where your blessing enters. For a long time your blessing has been waiting, circling your life, standing at the edges of your reality, unable to step fully into your hands. Because something or someone was blocking your spirit from receiving, the blessing could not land. In a heart filled with confusion, the blessing could not grow. In a mind filled with doubt, the blessing could not stay. In a home where your peace was disturbed, so heaven did not deny you the blessing. Tonight carries a quiet sense of arrival, as if something long held in waiting finally begins to open. There is a shift in the atmosphere of your inner world, where old heaviness starts loosening its grip. In the days ahead, you may notice subtle but meaningful changes across different parts of life. Your personal space begins to feel calmer, as if it finally breathes with you instead of against you. Rest becomes easier, and sleep carries a deeper stillness where thoughts no longer scatter so loudly. Emotionally, what once felt tangled starts to settle, creating room for clarity and a softer understanding of yourself. Connections in your life may also take on a more grounding quality, where communication feels honest, steady, and mutually supportive rather than draining or uncertain. Within your mind, overthinking begins to lose its intensity, replaced slowly by a growing sense of trust in your own judgment. Decisions feel less like battles and more like natural steps forward. As this internal order strengthens, your external world often reflects it, bringing smoother movement in work, creativity, and daily opportunities. There is a feeling of alignment forming, where life no longer feels like resistance but more like flow. This is a phase of quiet rebuilding, where peace becomes familiar and confidence returns gently but firmly. What once felt heavy starts to lose its weight, allowing space for steadiness, balance, and a renewed sense of direction in everyday living. It becomes easier to notice small moments of gratitude, to trust timing, and to move without hesitation, as if life is gently guiding you toward a more grounded and peaceful version of yourself each passing day, with steady inner clarity growing. This is the life that has been waiting for you. But now I will reveal something even deeper. The blessing that comes is not small. It is not temporary. It is not something that comes and goes. It is a blessing that changes the direction of your life. It is a blessing that builds foundation, stability, future, legacy. This is why the revelation had to happen tonight. This is why heaven has been speaking urgently. This is why your spirit has been feeling restless. Because your old life has reached its ending point, and your new life is ready to begin. But hear me. This blessing requires one thing from you. Not effort, not perfection, not sacrifice, just allowing. Allow what leaves to leave. Allow what arrives to arrive. Do not chase, do not resist, do not cling, just receive. Now, my beloved, to open yourself fully to what is coming. Speak these words with your heart. I allow what is meant for me to stay. I release what is not aligned with my soul. I am ready to receive my blessing. My child, my beloved, your spirit has agreed. So I will continue. Now, I will reveal the exact moment the blessing enters, and the sign heaven will send to confirm that everything has begun. Be present while you read. Do not rush these words, my beloved. The blessing enters the moment your heart no longer tries to hold on to what is leaving. Not when everything makes sense. Not when you feel fully healed. Not when you feel strong. It enters the moment you simply stop clinging, because what is leaving your life now was not aligned with your spirit anymore, and the universe cannot place new light in hands that are closed around old shadows. So, tonight when the truth comes forward, your heart will recognize it. You might not cry, you might not speak, you might not react at all. You may simply feel a quiet understanding, a calm knowing, a soft whisper inside your chest saying it is time, and in that moment, your spirit lets go. Not angrily, not painfully, but naturally. This is when the blessing begins. Now listen very carefully. The sign that the blessing has entered will come within 48 to 72 hours. It will not be dramatic. It will not be loud. It will not be confusing. It will be clear. Something will happen that makes you stop for a moment, and you will think this could not be a coincidence. It may be a message from someone you were spiritually connected to. A sudden opportunity, a piece of news that opens a new path, money arriving unexpectedly, a dream, so vivid it feels real, or someone speaking words you needed to hear. But whatever it is, you will feel it in your soul, like a door quietly opening, like breath returning to your chest after a long time, and you will know the shift has begun. Now, my child, my beloved, I must tell you the message you will receive in the days ahead. It will come in one of three forms. A message that begins with, I've been thinking about you. A voice that says, are you okay? I feel something is happening with you. Or a confession. I didn't realize how much you meant to me until now. This message may come from the person whose soul is tied to yours, or from someone new who carries truth, sincerity, and grounding. Do not assume. Do not rush. Do not assign meaning too quickly. Simply receive. Watch. Listen. Your spirit will know who is real, because when the right one speaks, your heart will feel still, not excited, not anxious, not overwhelmed, just still. Stillness is your sign. Stillness is recognition. Stillness is truth. My beloved, what is unfolding for you now is bigger than love alone. It is your spiritual return to your own soul. You are remembering who you are. A soul that has survived storms yet still knows how to love. A heart that has been betrayed yet still knows how to care. A spirit that has been wounded yet still knows how to rise. You are not fragile. You are sacred. And heaven is restoring you to yourself now. But hear me. You must not go back to what wounded you. You must not soften the truth when it reveals itself tonight. You don't need to second-guess your inner voice. When clarity begins to form within you, It becomes important to choose yourself, especially in the moments when you have spent too long choosing others. Something within you has already been shifting, even if you cannot fully explain it yet. Take a pause and settle your thoughts. A new phase in your life is slowly taking shape, and with it comes the need for a calmer, more honest connection with yourself. To open that space, repeat slowly and with meaning. I choose peace. I choose truth. I choose myself. I am ready for the life that is unfolding for me. As you speak these words, allow them to sink deeper than thought, into feeling, into awareness. Change often begins quietly, long before it becomes visible. You may already sense that certain situations, emotions, or connections are no longer aligning the way they once did. Trust that awareness instead of resisting it. What feels heavy or unclear is often a sign that transformation is already in motion. Let yourself stay present with that truth without fear or confusion. You are not being pulled away from something. You are being guided towards something more aligned. As you continue forward, life begins to reflect that inner shift in unexpected and meaningful ways. When you are ready, remain open to what comes next, because every step ahead is shaping a version of your life that is more honest, grounded, and fully your own. Give yourself patience as you move through this transition, and allow clarity to arrive in its own natural timing without forcing answers. Everything is unfolding as it should, for your growth and deeper understanding too. Every message that follows is for your protection, your blessing, your awakening. My beloved, a family member who smiled in your face, who pretended to care, who acted like they were supporting you, was never for you. This is the truth. Archangel Michael has been trying to whisper to your heart for months. You felt discomfort around them, didn't you? You felt something breaking inside you every time they pretended to love you. But you ignored it, because your heart is pure, and you always give people more chances than they deserve. My child, hear this with strength. Their real face has been exposed in the spiritual realm first. What they were doing behind your back has reached heaven. Their words, their intentions, their envy, their hidden resentment, everything has been seen. And that is why Archangel Michael is standing beside you today, urging you to not skip, not turn away, not silence the truth any longer. My beloved, someone in your family carried a love that was not love at all. It was jealousy, dressed as affection. It was envy pretending to be support. It was competition hiding behind fake smiles. And heaven says the mask has fallen. The truth is no longer hiding, and you are being prepared to rise above what was meant to break you. My child, listen carefully. What I reveal next will explain why your heart was restless, why your energy felt drained, why some days you felt tired without reason. That person was pulling from you. They were taking from your spirit without you noticing. They admired your strength, but hated that it came naturally to you. They admired your blessings, but couldn't stand that you didn't have to beg for them. They admired your heart, but secretly wished to see you fall. My beloved, this is why heaven stepped in. Because something serious was about to unfold. Something that would have broken you emotionally if you discovered it without divine preparation. Archangel Michael says this message is the shield around your heart. Do not move away from this page because the next lines will open your eyes in a way you never expected. My child, that family member was pretending to love you only when others were watching. They wanted people to believe they cared. But behind closed doors, behind their fake sympathy, behind their sweet voice, they carried a bitter heart. They were waiting for you to fail. They were waiting for you to lose something. They were waiting for you to cry so they could finally feel better about themselves. My beloved, you kept wondering why your blessings were delayed, why your spirit felt blocked, why your peace suddenly disappeared for no reason. Today, Archangel Michael reveals the truth. Someone in your own family was speaking negativity into your name, not openly, not loudly, but quietly, in secret, hoping the universe would turn against you. They thought their whispers were hidden, but heaven heard every single one. My child, the reason you are reading this right now is because their real face has finally come out. The truth spilled in the spiritual realm first, and now it is pouring into your physical life. You will start noticing things. The way they act, the way they talk, the way they look at you. Everything will reveal what was always hidden. My beloved, you are not imagining it. That strange shift you felt recently, that sudden distance from them, that uneasy feeling when they called your name, it was heaven pushing you away from danger. Archangel Michael says they were never meant to stay close to your destiny. Their hands were not clean. Their heart was not pure. Their intentions were not divine. My child, what comes next may surprise you, but you must stay until the end. There is something heaven wants you to understand. You were protected even when you didn't know you were in danger. You were shielded even when the attack was coming from someone you trusted. Your spirit was defended because heaven loves you more than the betrayal that tried to reach you. My beloved, the betrayal did not happen today. It started long ago. Even when things feel uncertain, clarity eventually arrives and what was hidden begins to surface in ways that reshape your understanding of everything around you. You may find that situations and people reveal their true intentions over time, not all at once, but in moments that gradually make sense of past confusion. What once felt like betrayal or disappointment can later become a turning point that strengthens your judgment and reshapes your path forward. It is important to remember that trust and kindness are not weaknesses, even if others fail to value them the way they should. With time, what felt heavy begins to lighten as you step into a clearer understanding of your own strength and direction. You are not defined by past misunderstandings or by the actions of others, but by how you continue to move forward. Growth often comes through reflection, patience, and the willingness to let time reveal what needs to be understood. Instead of focusing on what cannot be changed, you may find greater peace in what you can build next. Every experience, even the difficult ones, contributes to a stronger sense of clarity and self-awareness over time. You are gradually moving toward a place where confusion no longer defines your choices, and where your decisions feel more grounded and intentional. This process may not always feel immediate or easy, but it is shaping a more stable and self-assured version of your future. Keep focusing on what helps you grow, because over time, that is what will define your direction and your peace. Clarity arrives steadily, guiding you toward a future shaped by understanding, resilience, and the choices you continue to make each day forward. The person who pretended to love you was protected by your innocence, but now heaven is stripping away everything that hid their intentions. My beloved, you are not weak for trusting them. You are not foolish for loving them. You are not wrong for giving them your heart. Heaven sees your softness, your loyalty, your compassion, and it is those very things that made you a target for the one who pretended to stand with you. But today, your softness becomes strength, because the truth is finally unfolding in your favor. My child, listen closely. The betrayal that was planned against you did not succeed. Not because they didn't try, but because heaven refused to let your destiny break. Every trap they set collapsed. Every word they spoke returned back to their own door. Every intention they carried became their own burden, because you were chosen long before they pretended to be your friend. My beloved, ask yourself something. Why did your spirit feel uncomfortable around them even on good days? Why did something inside you always whisper, "Be careful, something is wrong"? Why did your heart suddenly tighten after spending time with them? These were not random feelings. These were divine warnings. My child, Archangel Michael says you were never supposed to trust their performance. The way they smiled wasn't love. The way they hugged you wasn't support. The way they talked sweetly wasn't affection. It was strategy. It was manipulation. It was a mask meant to keep you blind. My beloved, I know this hurts. Not because they fooled you, but because your heart would have never done to them what they secretly wished upon you. You loved them with purity. You cared with sincerity. You stood with them, even when you had nothing to gain. And yet they pretended to love you with a heart full of shadows. My child. They thought God wouldn't see. They thought heaven wouldn't notice. They thought your angels were silent. But they were wrong. Archangel Michael has been watching every moment, every whisper, every step, every hidden conversation. My beloved, heaven has been protecting you from dangers you never saw. Every blessing that was delayed for a reason, so that the wrong person wouldn't benefit, so they wouldn't use your growth for their jealousy, so they wouldn't stand beside you pretending to be proud while secretly hoping to see you fall. My child, you need to hear this clearly. The betrayal is no longer growing because heaven has cut its root. The energy that was draining you has been disconnected. The person who was blocking your blessings with their negativity has been spiritually removed from your path. You are entering a cleaner season, a protected season, a blessed season. My beloved, they were never truly for you. Even when they acted like they were, when you cried, they didn't pray for you. They enjoyed your weakness. When you struggled, they didn't support you. They felt relieved that you were not ahead of them. When you celebrated, they didn't smile. They secretly questioned why you were chosen, and not them. My child, heaven says the time has come for them to be exposed in your life as clearly as the truth has already been exposed in the spiritual realm. Signs will appear. Sudden arguments, strange distance, hidden conversations coming to light. Someone slips something by mistake. Their true face will reveal itself not because you search for it, but because heaven is tired of seeing you hurt. My beloved, Archangel Michael is lifting the veil from your eyes. When you see the truth, do not crumble. Do not break. Do not panic. Realize that this is a divine release. Heaven is not taking someone from you. Heaven is removing what was blocking your blessings. My child, when God removes someone, it is always protection, never punishment. You prayed for peace, and peace requires removing those who bring chaos. You once prayed for a better season, and sometimes growth requires letting go of what limits you. Clarity often comes through uncomfortable truths, even when they sting. You were meant to evolve beyond certain cycles and environments that no longer match who you are becoming. Your growth can feel unsettling to others not because you are wrong, but because it highlights their own resistance to change. At times, life begins to separate your path from people and influences that no longer align with your direction. In moments like this, it can feel like unseen forces are rearranging things around you, preparing you for a different chapter. What once felt like trust may have held hidden tensions that could have eventually hurt you emotionally, and distance may be a form of protection. This is not a punishment but a redirection, a way of clearing space for healthier experiences. Moving forward, relationships that remain in your life will likely reflect honesty, sincerity, and mutual respect. You may notice changes unfolding in unexpected ways, but they are part of a larger unfolding direction. Not everyone who stood close to you will continue forward, especially those whose intentions were not aligned with your well-being. Life tends to filter connections, so that what remains is more stable and authentic. Trust your inner sense as you move through this transition. Whatever unfolds next may not always make immediate sense, but over time, it can reveal a clearer direction for your personal growth and emotional stability, encouraging you to remain patient, grounded, and open to new experiences that support a healthier and more aligned path ahead as things settle into place naturally in the right divine timing. Their influence is ending, their access to you is being cut, their mask is falling, and you will finally understand why your spirit felt so uncomfortable around them. My beloved, what comes next will change the way you see relationships forever. Stay with me, my child. My beloved, Archangel Michael asks you to breathe slowly, because the truth you are about to read next will not only open your eyes, it will free you from years of silent emotional weight you didn't even know you were carrying. Stay with me. Don't look away. Every line is revealing something heaven waited for the right moment to show you. My beloved, heaven delayed this truth until your heart was strong enough to see it without breaking. The betrayal might have shattered you if you had seen it earlier. You would have blamed yourself. You would have questioned your worth. You would have asked why love is so difficult for you. But now you are rising. Now you are awakening. Now your spiritual vision is sharp. My beloved, something powerful is coming in the next days. And the person who pretended to love you would have tried to ruin it. They would have acted excited for you, but inside, they would have prayed that you fail. My child, heaven says no. Their influence is ending. Their access to you is being cut. Their mask is falling. And you will finally understand why your spirit felt so uncomfortable around them. My beloved, what comes next will change the way you see relationships forever. Stay with me, my child. My beloved, Archangel Michael asks you to breathe slowly, because the truth you are about to read next will not only open your eyes, it will free you from years of silent emotional weight you didn't even know you were carrying. Stay with me. Don't look away. Every line is revealing something heaven waited for the right moment to show you. My beloved, heaven delayed this truth until your heart was strong enough to see it without breaking. The betrayal might have shattered you if you had seen it earlier. You would have blamed yourself. You would have questioned your worth. You would have asked why love is so difficult for you. But now you are rising. Now you are awakening. Now your spiritual vision is sharp, my child. That is why the mask of the one pretending to love you is falling today. Because today, you are finally ready to walk without depending on their fake affection. You are ready to grow without their shadow pulling you back. You are ready to receive blessings they were secretly trying to block. My beloved, the person who acted close to you was not supporting you. They were studying you. They were watching your moves, your growth, your opportunities, your blessings. Not to celebrate you, but to find ways to stay ahead, to keep you small, to control the energy around you. Their love was never love. It was surveillance. My child, feel the weight of this truth. Someone in your family knew your weaknesses, knew your fears, knew your dreams, and instead of protecting your heart, they used your vulnerability as a silent weapon. But heaven did not allow their plans to flourish. Not once, not ever. Every trap they set became their own delay. Every intention they held became their own consequence. My beloved, you must understand this clearly. They didn't just pretend to love you. They pretended to be harmless. But spiritually, they were the reason, for many nights, you cried without a clear reason. They were the reason opportunities slipped away at the last moment. They were the reason certain relationships failed before they began. Their energy was spreading a quiet poison in your environment. My child, heaven has uprooted that poison. Now, your spirit is not under their influence anymore. You are stepping into a season where the truth becomes your shield, and clarity becomes your armor. Take a moment and ask yourself this. Why did your inner calm seem to fade whenever you shared your deepest dreams with certain people? Why did conversations with them leave you feeling exhausted instead of uplifted? And why did your motivation feel heavier whenever their presence became too close to your personal space? Sometimes, it isn't about anything mystical. It's about emotional alignment. When you're around people who don't truly understand your direction, your energy naturally feels strained. Your vision may have been expanding, while their perspective stayed limited, and that difference can quietly create distance in spirit and focus. It often leads to doubt, hesitation, and a sense of being held back, even without anyone intending harm. But the important truth is that this phase doesn't define you. You are not losing your path, you are refining it. As you step away from environments that drain you, clarity slowly returns. Confidence begins to rebuild itself in quieter, steadier ways. Opportunities feel more natural again because you are no longer forcing connection where it doesn't belong. And with time, misunderstandings fade, revealing a clearer picture of who truly supports your growth. What once felt like confusion transforms into understanding. What felt heavy begins to lighten. Keep moving forward without carrying the need to prove anything to anyone. Your progress will speak for itself, and your path will open in ways that feel more aligned and peaceful than before. Over time, you begin to notice that the right connections feel effortless, while the wrong ones quietly fall away. Trust that your growth is not delayed. It is unfolding at the pace it is meant to. Keep choosing peace, consistency, and your own direction each day, my child. You might wonder, why me? Why did this happen to me? But you need to understand, betrayal happens to those who carry powerful destinies. Betrayal happens to pure hearts. Betrayal happens to chosen ones, because the enemy does not attack the weak. The enemy attacks the destined. My beloved, this is why heaven is rebuilding your energy, realigning your path, and restoring everything that was stolen from you in silence. You were never alone. You were never abandoned. You were never unprotected. My child, the next lines are the beginning of your spiritual turnaround. Do not miss a single word. My beloved, the person who pretended to love you is about to feel the weight of their actions. Not because you seek revenge. You don't need to. But because divine justice is already moving. When you rise, they will fall. When you heal, their mask will crack. When you step into your blessing, their jealousy will burn. My child, heaven is not cruel. Heaven is just. And justice is now unfolding around your name. My beloved, something powerful is coming your way. Something that the person pretending to love you did not want you to receive. But heaven has made sure they cannot block it anymore. My child, stay close to this message. The next part will reveal what blessing was being delayed because of their presence in your life. My child, my beloved, do not move away from this message. Now you are entering the part where heaven begins revealing what was being held back, what was being slowed down, what was being quietly blocked by the person who pretended to love you. Stay with me. Every line now carries a spiritual truth you were meant to hear at this exact moment in time. My child, the next lines are the beginning of your spiritual turnaround. Do not miss a single word. My beloved, the person who pretended to love you is about to feel the weight of their actions. Not because you seek revenge. You don't need to, but because divine justice is already moving. When you rise, they will fall. When you heal, their mask will crack. When you step into your blessing, their jealousy will burn. My child, heaven is not cruel. Heaven is just, and justice is now unfolding around your name. My beloved, something powerful is coming your way, something that the person pretending to love you did not want you to receive. But heaven has made sure they cannot block it anymore. My child, stay close to this message. The next part will reveal what blessing was being delayed because of their presence in your life. My child, my beloved, do not move away from this message. Now you are entering the part where heaven begins revealing what was being held back, what was being slowed down, what was being quietly blocked by the person who pretended to love you. Stay with me. Every line now carries a spiritual truth you were meant to hear at this exact moment in time. My beloved, your blessings were not denied. They were delayed for protection. Heaven was waiting for the wrong spirit to leave your path before opening the doors that belong to you. If those doors had opened earlier, the person pretending to love you would have sabotaged your future, without you realizing they were the cause. My child, listen deeply. You were supposed to receive something months ago. A breakthrough, a shift, a blessing, a connection, an opportunity, a moment of divine change, but the energy around you wasn't clean. Your circle had a snake disguised as a supporter, and heaven does not pour miracles into environments that are poisoned. My beloved, what was meant for you didn't disappear, it simply waited. It waited for this moment, when heaven wiped away the fake love, removed the spiritual blockage, and exposed the one who was secretly wishing against you. My child, feel this truth. Nothing you lost is truly the end of your story. What felt delayed or out of reach may simply be taking a different path toward you, reshaping itself in ways you could not see at the time. Sometimes life removes certain connections, routines, or expectations not as punishment, but as protection and redirection toward something more aligned with who you are becoming. When clarity begins to return, you start to notice patterns more clearly. Situations that once felt confusing begin to make sense, and emotional distance from certain people allows you to see intentions without illusion. This awareness is not meant to create resentment, but understanding, helping you move forward with stronger boundaries and a calmer mind. The challenges you faced, including periods of financial pressure or emotional uncertainty, may have been part of a larger restructuring that pushed you to grow in resilience and self-trust. Not every relationship is meant to continue at every stage of life, and some connections change simply because your path is evolving. What matters now is the space being created for stability, sincerity, and opportunities that align with your future direction. You are stepping into a phase where clarity matters more than confusion, and authenticity matters more than appearances. As things shift, allow yourself to release what no longer fits without forcing explanations or holding on to what feels heavy. What comes next is shaped by the lessons you have already lived through, and it carries the potential for steady progress, renewed confidence, and meaningful growth. In this next chapter, patience and self-trust will help you recognize opportunities that truly support your long-term direction and personal growth ahead always. The blessing was too big to be shared with the wrong person. The miracle was too sacred to be in the presence of someone who secretly resented you. My child, ask yourself, why do you feel lighter recently? Why have you been sensing a shift, like something around you has quietly changed? That is the spiritual separation already unfolding. Heaven has already started cutting energetic ties between you and the person pretending to love you. My beloved, in the next days, you will receive clarity in ways that will shock you. Something unexpected will reveal their true intention. A slip of their tongue, a sudden reaction, a message they send to the wrong person, a truth that someone else accidentally tells you. Their real face is coming out piece by piece. My child, when this happens, do not be afraid. Do not react with anger. Do not fall into guilt. Realize that this is not happening to hurt you. This is happening to free you. You prayed for peace. You prayed for signs. You prayed for guidance. This is the answer to those prayers. My beloved, do not blame yourself for trusting them. You saw them through the eyes of your heart, not through the eyes of their intentions. You believed in what they pretended to be. That does not make you weak. It makes you pure. My child, Archangel Michael says, a major blessing that was on hold is now being released back into your timeline. Something connected to your stability, something connected to your spiritual awakening, something connected to your destiny, something connected to your emotional healing. My beloved, they cannot block it anymore. Their energy no longer reaches you. Their influence cannot touch you. Their resentment cannot dim your path. Heaven has officially sealed your spirit from their negativity. My child, hear this with strength. You are stepping into a period where everything that was stuck will begin to move again. Opportunities will reappear. Doors will reopen. People who were silent will suddenly reach out. Money that was delayed will flow. Peace that felt lost will return. My beloved, the blockage wasn't bad luck. It wasn't coincidence. It wasn't timing. It was spiritual interference. But now, heaven has lifted it completely. My child, stay with me, because what I reveal in the next part will tell you exactly why heaven chose to expose this betrayal right now, not earlier, not later, but at this exact turning point in your destiny. My child, Archangel Michael says, a major blessing that was on hold is now being released back into your timeline. Something connected to your stability, something connected to your spiritual awakening, something connected to your destiny, something connected to your emotional healing. My beloved, they cannot block it anymore. Their energy no longer reaches you. Their influence cannot touch you. Their resentment cannot dim your path. Heaven has officially sealed your spirit from their negativity. My child, hear this with strength. You are stepping into a period where everything that was stuck will begin to move again. Opportunities will reappear. Doors will reopen. People who were silent will suddenly reach out. Money that was delayed will flow. Peace that felt lost will return. My beloved, the blockage wasn't bad luck. It wasn't coincidence. It wasn't timing. It was spiritual interference. But now, heaven has lifted it. Completely. My child, stay with me, because what I reveal in the next part will tell you exactly why heaven chose to expose this betrayal right now. Not earlier, not later, but at this exact turning point in your destiny. My child, my beloved, what I am about to reveal now is the reason heaven waited until this exact hour, this exact day, this exact moment, to expose the one pretending to love you. Do not rush these words. Let them enter your spirit slowly. This message is not random. It is a breakthrough disguised as truth. My beloved, you are standing at the doorway of a life shift. Something extremely important is about to begin for you. A new path, a new blessing, a new alignment, a new opportunity. And heaven could not let you enter this season with that person still connected to your destiny. Sometimes, life quietly prepares you for change long before you are able to understand it. You may start noticing subtle shifts in your mood, a sense of restlessness, or an inner awareness that you are being guided toward something unfamiliar yet necessary. These moments often appear when you are naturally growing beyond certain connections that no longer match who you are becoming. A bond that once felt comforting can slowly begin to feel out of place, not because something is wrong, but because your path is evolving in a new direction. When this happens, distance is not meant as punishment but as protection, creating space for clarity and emotional honesty. It allows you to see situations without confusion and recognize what truly supports your well-being. Often, only after stepping back do you realize where your energy was being drained, or where your intuition was being overlooked. What initially feels like loss can gradually transform into understanding and relief as perspective returns. The separation between old and new chapters is rarely easy, yet it carries an important purpose in helping you reconnect with your inner balance. As one phase gently closes, it makes room for experiences that feel more aligned with your emotional growth and future stability. This transition is not about rejection or regret, but about redirection towards something healthier and more grounded. Over time, the confusion settles, and what once felt uncertain begins to reveal a clearer path forward, leading you toward a stronger, more centered version of yourself. You didn't see it, but your angels did. A blockage was removed. A heavy cloud was lifted. A spiritual knot was untied. Heaven cleared the path without you even knowing you needed clearing. My beloved, this is why you feel different lately. This is why you feel restless but also hopeful. This is why you feel like something new is coming even though you can't explain it. Your soul can feel what your mind cannot understand yet. My child, heaven is leading you toward a door that has been closed for years, but is about to swing open with divine force. And the person pretending to love you was not meant to witness that moment. My beloved, ask yourself something honestly. Why did you feel drained after talking to them? Why did your energy shift whenever they walked into the room? Why did your spirit feel uncomfortable when you shared your dreams with them? Because your soul recognized what your heart refused to accept. My child, Archangel Michael says, the moment you stop forcing love from the wrong people, the right blessings begin to flow toward you effortlessly. Heaven is not just exposing a fake face. Heaven is repositioning you. My beloved, their exposure is not the end of something. It is the beginning of something far more powerful. The moment the truth is revealed, spiritual doors open in ways you never imagined. My child, this exposure marks 3 divine changes. First, your energy is being restored. Second, your path is being straightened. Third, your blessing is being released. My beloved, heaven waited until now, because you were spiritually strong enough to handle the truth. Earlier, it would have broken you. Later, it would have harmed your blessing. But today, at this exact point in your journey, it becomes a weapon of protection. My child, hear this with your spirit. The person pretending to love you was not removed to punish them. They were removed to prepare you. What is coming next required solitude, clarity, and strength, not confusion, doubt, and emotional chaos. My beloved, your heart deserves better than silent envy. Your spirit deserves better than hidden competition. Your future deserves better than people who only love you when you are suffering. My child, you are rising into a chapter where your light will be brighter, your blessings larger, your energy stronger, and your peace deeper, and heaven needed to ensure that no one with a jealous heart would step into that space with you. My beloved, the truth is painful, but necessary, because the next part of your journey requires courage, and heaven is preparing you for it. My child, stay with me a little longer because the next lines will reveal the specific spiritual sign you will see when their true face fully comes out. And when you see it, you will know with absolute certainty that heaven was guiding you the entire time. My child, my beloved, stay close now, because this part reveals what you have been sensing deep inside, but could never put into words. Archangel Michael says, you are about to receive a clear sign, a sign that will confirm without any doubt who the person was that pretended to love you. Do not rush this. Your next lines carry spiritual confirmation. My beloved, your heart deserves better than silent envy. Your spirit deserves better than hidden competition. Your future deserves better than people who only love you when you are suffering. My child, you are rising into a chapter where your light will be brighter, your blessings larger, your energy stronger, and your peace deeper. And heaven needed to ensure that no one with a jealous heart would step into that space with you. My beloved, the truth is painful but necessary, because the next part of your journey requires courage, and heaven is preparing you for it. My child, stay with me a little longer, because the next lines will reveal the specific spiritual sign you will see when their true face fully comes out. And when you see it, you will know with absolute certainty that heaven was guiding you the entire time. My child, my beloved, stay close now, because this part reveals what you have been sensing deep inside, but could never put into words. A moment of clarity is approaching in your life, one that will make hidden intentions easier to recognize and misunderstandings fall away. It won't arrive in a dramatic way, but through small, natural shifts that slowly reveal what has been beneath the surface all along. You may notice it first in conversation, when someone's tone changes unexpectedly. A slight edge, a subtle impatience, or words spoken with an unfamiliar sharpness can reveal emotions they usually keep hidden. Not the words themselves, but the feeling behind them will catch your attention. Over time, you may also begin to notice changes in their expressions and gaze. The eyes often reveal what people try to conceal, and you may sense distance where there once was warmth. Another sign may appear in how they respond to your happiness. Moments that should bring shared joy might instead be met with hesitation, avoidance, or neutral reactions that feel unusually flat. Their engagement may feel less genuine, as if something has shifted. You could also experience a gradual emotional distance, where communication becomes less frequent and connection begins to fade without explanation. This is not necessarily caused by anything you did, but by natural changes in alignment between lives. In time, these patterns come together to offer clarity. What once felt confusing becomes easier to understand, and you begin to see situations as they truly are, without illusion or assumption. In that understanding, you gain a quieter sense of strength, allowing you to respond with awareness rather than confusion, and to move forward with a clearer sense of direction in your relationships and choices, bringing emotional balance and inner clarity over time without unnecessary emotional confusion anymore. You will feel peace when they are not around. Your spirit will feel lighter. Your heart will feel quieter. Your thoughts will feel calmer. Their absence will feel like relief, not loss. That is how you know their energy was never aligned with your destiny. My child, Archangel Michael says, when you see these signs, do not panic. Do not chase them. Do not confront them. Let heaven finish what heaven has started. Some people expose themselves without you lifting a finger. My beloved, the truth will unfold exactly the way it needs to. The revelation will be gentle enough not to break you, but strong enough to open your eyes. Heaven's timing is perfect. Heaven's methods are flawless. Heaven's protection is precise. My child, listen carefully now. The reason heaven is exposing them is because someone new is about to enter your life. Someone whose presence will elevate you spiritually, emotionally, and energetically, and the old energy must be removed before the new soul arrives. My beloved, this next person, whether a friend, a soulmate, a mentor, or a divine connection, will carry pure intentions toward you. Their love will not be fake. Their support will not be conditional. Their presence will not be draining. They will come into your life with sincerity. My child, the person pretending to love you would have tried to block this divine connection out of jealousy. They would have said negative things. They would have discouraged you. They would have tried to plant doubt in your heart. That is why heaven had to expose them before the blessing arrives. My beloved, this is a major shift in your life, not a small change, not a minor adjustment, a complete realignment of your spiritual path. You are entering a destiny that carries strength, respect, abundance, clarity, and divine companionship. My child, heaven removed the wrong one because the right ones are approaching you. People who will support you, lift you, pray for you, celebrate you, and protect your energy the way you deserve. People who are aligned with your soul, not your suffering. My beloved Archangel Michael says, you will not walk this next chapter alone. Your angels are preparing relationships that will help you grow, not shrink. Connections that will heal you, not drain you. Energies that will lift you, not betray you. My child, you have been holding too much pain inside your heart for too long. You have carried disappointment silently. You have forgiven people who never deserved forgiveness. You have smiled even when your wounds were still open. You have loved deeply, even when love was not returned. My beloved, heaven saw all of it, and heaven decided no more. Your heart deserves peace. Your spirit deserves love. Your future deserves protection, and the universe is rearranging everything around your name to give you exactly that. My child, do not fear what is being removed from your life. Fear what heaven saves you from that you never even saw. The person pretending to love you was becoming a danger to your emotional well-being. Heaven removed them before their hidden bitterness turned into an attack against your destiny. My beloved, the next part of this message will explain something extremely important. What heaven is planning for you once the fake energy is gone, and why. Your life will begin to transform in ways you could never imagine. My child, my beloved, now that the revelation is unfolding, heaven begins preparing what comes after the exposure. Do not blink while reading this. Archangel Michael says, the moment the fake love is removed, your life shifts in ways that may feel unbelievable at first. What was stuck begins to move. What was delayed begins to accelerate. What was hidden begins to appear. Do not underestimate this transition. My beloved, heaven saw all of it, and heaven decided no more. Your heart deserves peace. Your spirit deserves love. Your future deserves protection. And the universe is rearranging everything around your name to give you exactly that. Do not mistake loss for punishment, because what leaves your life is often what was quietly working against your peace. Sometimes what appears as love is only a mask hiding confusion, control, or emotional harm, and its removal is actually protection in disguise. There are moments when something or someone is taken away not to empty your life, but to prevent deeper pain that you were not yet able to recognize. What felt like delay or silence was never abandonment. It was a safeguard, guiding you away from what could have disrupted your growth in ways you could not see at the time. When certain influences step out, life does not fall apart. It begins to reorganize itself. You may first notice a strange stillness, as if the noise has faded, and in that quiet space, clarity slowly starts to return. What once felt blocked begins to loosen, not because effort suddenly changed, but because resistance has been lifted. Emotional weight starts to fade, and your thoughts become less clouded, allowing you to see situations with a new kind of honesty. Sleep feels less restless, decisions feel less confusing, and your inner voice grows steadier. This shift is not random, and it is not accidental. It is the natural result of moving away from what no longer belongs in your path. As this transition continues, you begin to notice that opportunities arrive with less struggle, and the things that once felt distant start coming closer without force. What is meant for you does not need to be chased endlessly. It begins to return on its own when the space is cleared. In time, you understand that what was removed was never a loss in the true sense, but a redirection toward balance, stability, and a clearer direct. It will shake the ground around your life. Snorts. It will silence every whisper spoken against you. It will surprise even you, with its size, timing, and power. And this blessing could not arrive while you were surrounded by someone who did not want you to rise. My beloved, heaven is preparing 3 major shifts for you now. First, your financial energy will open. Something that was blocked due to negative influence will start flowing again. Money owed to you, opportunities you were denied, abundance that was held back. Heaven is clearing the path for prosperity to finally reach you. Second, your emotional peace will return. The heaviness you have been carrying in your chest will begin to dissolve. Your heart will feel lighter, your spirit calmer, your mind clearer. Third, your divine relationships will arrive. You are stepping into a season of better connections, people who uplift you, love you, protect you, and match your spiritual frequency. My child, this new season is not built on pain. It is built on truth, and truth always brings freedom. The moment the mask fell, heaven began rearranging your life in your favor. My beloved, you may not have understood why you lost interest in certain things, why you became distant with some people, why you felt quiet inside, as if your spirit was listening for something. That was heaven preparing you for transition. Your soul knew what your mind had not yet seen. My child, you are not the same person you were 6 months ago. You are not even the same person you were last month. Your spirit has grown. Your intuition has sharpened. Your energy has risen, and the person pretending to love you felt threatened by your evolution. My beloved, some people love the version of you that suffers. They love the version that depends on them. They love the version that doubts itself. But when you grow, when you heal, when you awaken, they feel insecure. They fear losing their hold over you. And that is exactly what happened. My child, the moment you stepped into your inner power, heaven began exposing those who could not handle your light. The fake love began cracking. The jealousy became visible, the manipulation became obvious. And heaven said, "Enough, my beloved. You must understand something very important. This betrayal wasn't your fault. It wasn't your weakness. It wasn't your mistake. It was your elevation. Your growth revealed who they truly were. and your rising energy exposed the darkness in their heart. My child, the light always reveals what the shadows try to hide. Your spiritual glow made their intentions impossible to disguise. That is why the truth surfaced now, because your soul is rising higher than their lies. My beloved Archangel Michael says the next phase of your destiny begins when the truth sets you free, and that time is now. Your new chapter will not look like your old one. My child, this is what heaven is planning for you now. You will be protected from emotional harm. Your intuition will guide you with clarity. Your path will become smoother. Your opportunities will increase. Your peace will deepen. Your spiritual gifts will awaken, and the blessing they tried to block will find you anyway. My beloved, heaven is rewriting your story. What they tried to sabotage will rise. What they tried to stop will accelerate. What they tried to dim will shine even brighter. My child. But there is something deeper, something heaven wants you to know that is even more powerful than the blessing. Something about identity, purpose, and the way deep emotional wounds often trace back to the people we trust most. Because closeness creates both comfort and vulnerability. When pain arrives through family or those we hold near, it can feel especially confusing, but it also reveals an important truth about human relationships. The deepest bonds have the greatest emotional reach. Sometimes what feels like betrayal is less about being singled out and more about misplaced trust, unmet expectations, and the fragile nature of human hearts under pressure. Yet even in moments of emotional collapse, there is another layer unfolding quietly in the background. Growth. The same experiences that break trust can also reshape understanding, guiding a person toward stronger boundaries, clearer self-awareness, and a more grounded sense of identity. Pain has a way of drawing attention to what needs healing, not to punish, but to transform. In that sense, difficult experiences often become turning points rather than endings. They push a person inward, forcing reflection on who they are beyond what they lost and what they believed about others. Over time, what once felt like betrayal can become a lesson in resilience, clarity, and emotional maturity. It becomes easier to see that not every wound defines you, and not every experience is meant to diminish you. Some experiences arrive to redirect you, to refine your understanding of trust, and to help you recognize your own strength more clearly. In that process, identity is not destroyed but rebuilt, shaped by awareness, and carried forward with a deeper sense of purpose and inner stability.